in my space today, so we will keep it kind of like low to the ground. Let's just start by lying on down, and if anything happens where you can't hear me or you can't quite see me, I know we're like in a different kind of a room, wave me down and let me know. So we're gonna plant our feet on the floor. We're gonna let our body come down in space. And as we inhale, let's reach those arms up and take them back. And then as we exhale, let's bring them down. Inhale to reach up and back. And exhale down. One more time, inhale up and back. And exhale down. We're gonna add some hips to this. So as we inhale, we're gonna squeeze our glutes, lift our hips up as we take those arms up and back. And then as we exhale, as we drop the arms, we're gonna tap that tail back down. Inhale to fire through those glutes, lift up, take the arms back. Exhale to lower down. We're gonna keep going. Inhale to lift up. And it's okay if the rib cage expands for right now. We're gonna kind of bring it in a second. Let's go for 3. So it can feel hopefully like a nice big opening through the front of the body, starting to recruit through the back of the body. One more time. Inhale it up. You're gonna leave those hips up as we reach those arms either up to the ceiling or they can come down. It's totally up to you. So a little bit of housekeeping as we are here. If you'd like to turn those arms into fists and give them a good squeeze, you totally can. We're gonna fire through those glutes. We're gonna level out through our hip bones, and we're gonna start to make sure that rib cage is drawing in. So we don't wanna be super, super open through the rib cage. We wanna collect our energy here. Pressing into our feet, we're gonna let that right side of the hips start to rock down. So now it's no longer going level. It's like we're pouring our cup of tea over. Fire those glutes, bring them back up to center. Let's go to the left, inhaling to let it rotate as much as it can without the thighs moving, and then exhale back up. We know this is a favorite of mine. Down and up, especially again, if we've been sitting, right? We're just sort of reorganizing the pelvis, allowing it to rotate however it might want to or not want to, right? Getting that range going and then bringing it back up to center. Now we're gonna start to make this a little bit bigger. So right now we haven't been moving the thighs. As we start to take it bigger, there is gonna be a move. So now it's like we're trying to tap that right side of the hip down and then bring it back up. Left side of the hip taps, and then we bring it up. And this is gonna start to recruit a little more obliques, yes? Tap and lift, tap and lift. I'm hoping you're gonna start to feel the backs of those legs very soon, and up. Tap it down and bring it up. Tap it down and bring it up. So we're trying as much as, yes, there's movement happening here, to keep it as contained as possible. Tap it down and lift. We're really working that range. So if you were to imagine yourself sort of like in a magician's box, that top half from the rib cage to the top of your head isn't moving, and the bottom half here is doing all that work. Again, that's how you're gonna get those obliques going. Hoping you're maybe feeling some inner thighs, but definitely backs of the legs. To the left. Let's go to the right and up, to the left. One more time, right and left. Pause here. We're gonna start to roll our torso down. We're gonna really articulate. You're gonna get just to the backs of the ribs. So notice my pelvis is nice and scoopy, scoopy. Think inner thighs, and then fire and lift back up. We're gonna scoop and roll, scoop and roll, scoop and roll, scoop and roll. Just feel the back of the ribs, and then squeeze and lift. Scoop and roll, scoop and roll, scoop and roll, and then lift. So we'd worked that articulation, right? That rotation side to side. Now we're working into a little bit more flexion, and we're separating the vertebrae, kind of, not like in a dangerous way. No one's gonna herniate their discs today. And then lift up. And we're, as always, when we're here, drawing those heels towards the glutes, radiating those knees forward. Scoop, 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 press and lift. Scoop, 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 press and lift. For 3, and scoop. For 2, last one, lift it up, pause here, take a breath in, exhale, roll it all the way down. Super good job. You can give those legs a little shakety, shake, shake, shake. We're gonna flip over onto our bellies. So we're gonna continue this theme of back chain, but we're gonna do it from a different place now. So flipping onto the belly, we're gonna open those legs out so they're almost mat distance, if not fully. They're gonna externally rotate so that the knees are looking away from each other. And then the hands to the elbows are gonna come onto the mat, turning our heads down. Housekeeping as we're here, we've externally rotated and we're committing to keeping that big toe edge of the toe on the floor. Zipped up through those quads, firing through those glutes, trying to scoop towards our pubic bone and checking in with our ribs. Let's take a breath in to be here. And let's take a breath out just to settle on the mat. Now this first movement is really teeny tiny, and it's gonna be to help us with our like texting neck or computer neck, right? We wanna make sure our head gets a chance to stabilize itself. So from forehead on the floor, if you imagine like my hand is on the back of your head, you're gonna just press the head up. The upper body doesn't lift, the legs don't lift, it's just the back of the head, and then lower it back down. Head is gonna lift, you're still looking to the floor, so your nose gets to hover, and then pop it back down. A few more of these, please. Lift it up. So again, it's not a full body lift, it's just the neck we're trying to recruit. And down. Almost like you would try to give yourself a double chin, but I don't want you to look down or like look towards your sternum. I want you to look down to the mat, please. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. Last one, you're gonna lift that head up and then hold it in that little hover. So our nose is hovered off of the ground, our legs are still active. We're gonna do a little head nod forward. So if you imagine like you're rolling a marble away, then from there, we're gonna start to peel our upper body up off of the mat just towards the ribs. Super tempting for those hips to press into the floor. Can we keep scooping towards our pubic bone? Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. On an inhale, we're gonna lift just the head into that parallel hover. Yeah, so just the neck. Then as you breathe out, little head nod forward, start to shine your chest forward. It's like you have puppet strings pulling your chest forward, but also lengthening your legs behind you. Taking a breath in here, and then exhale to melt it down. When you're ready, inhale just the head, that little head hover. As you breathe out, little head nod forward and start to peel. And you can use your hands to help you traction here, drawing yourself down, drawing your arms down towards your toes. The legs are still active. We're trying to target right in that mid-back. Breathe in and exhale down. Let me tell you, 2 weeks off being sick, you really start to feel things. I'm like, oh, my muscles. 2 more times here. Head little hover. When you're ready, breathing out, doing that little nod forward so that as we bring our chest up in space, our head is connected to that whole shape, right? We want our spine to kind of flow together, or the pieces of our spine to move together. Breathe in. Exhale, melt it to the floor. One more time here, team. Little head nod to hover. As you breathe out, little head nod forward, drawing yourself up, and then pause. And so from this place, you're gonna keep breathing, but I want us to be really super particular. If you were to hover your hands, your forearms, can you make sure that you're really not pressing into those hip bones? We're really trying to scoop to the pubic bone, zip up through those legs. Now from here, notice how nice and wide your collarbones are. Use those back muscles to start to pull yourself up a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Now I have a pretty bendy low back, so for me, I can find a pretty big range, but for others of us, we might be more down here, yeah? And of course, eventually your hip bones will get heavy, but what I would like you to do is the best you can, super squeeze those buns so that we can try not to collapse into them. Breathe in at your highest point, and then you're gonna keep pulling yourself forward as you lower all the way back down to the floor. Let that head tap the mat. When you're ready, little head hover, yeah? So just the head. Then as you breathe out, nod the nose. We're gonna lift up just to that first spot right here. Boom. Make sure we can feel that mid-back. Maybe give your hands a little hover to test it out. And then still keep firing from the back of the body. So the hands are working as little as possible. It's really all back portion of the body here. My glutes are squeezing. I'm trying to lift up through those hip bones. Breathe in your highest spot. Legs are working like fire, fire. Pull yourself all the way back down to the mat. One more like this, please. Little head nod to hover. As you breathe out, nose nods, find that mid-back section first. Do a little housekeeping, do a little check-in. Notice where your shoulders are as well. And then when you're ready, continue the journey only as high up as feels good for your back, yeah? Breathe it in and then pull yourself forward. Keep those legs active as you go. And we'll take a little break there. So if you'd like to press back, maybe taking a wide-legged child's pose feels like a nice idea. Maybe flipping onto your back and bringing your knees into your chest. Yeah, let's take a nice big breath in here. And exhale it out. So I have a new glute experience for us today that I was playing with last night, which is why those hip bridges felt so fantastic. So we're gonna come back onto our bellies. We're gonna interlace our fingers and let our head come down, or you can put a pillow there, whatever you need to do. We're gonna let that upper body relax. We're gonna keep the legs a little closer this time, so more hip distance and parallel. And then we're gonna bend that right knee in, and can you feel like you're squeezing a ball behind the right thigh? Housekeeping before we move, we wanna make sure those hip bones are as level as possible, and we're scooping towards that pubic bone still. So I'm hoping already you can feel some hamstring glute here. Press the left toes into the floor, take your breath in, and as you breathe out, we're gonna lift the right leg just to hover. It's not gonna go super duper high. Inhale to lower it down, and then exhale to lift. Now I'm gonna keep myself upright so that you can hear me clearly, but you're welcome to stay down. So little bits of housekeeping as we're doing this little pulse. Obviously, the more that you pull into flexion through the knee, the more the heel goes to the glute, the more intensity you might feel through your knee joint. So if that's not feeling fabulous, just open that up a bit. Yeah, open that angle up a little bit so that you can really feel what's happening through the back of the leg. As we're moving parallel here, this is a little more hamstringy. You'll see the glute part in a hot second. But what I want us to really pay attention to is as you're lifting, the distribution across your pelvis. So is your right hip becoming heavier? Is your right hip becoming lighter? Is your right hip squeezing up? Is your right hip drawing down, right? All those things. And we want to try our super best. Thank you. Can you answer it? No? Okay. Just like real life in the moment. All right, we're gonna lift it up and then pop it down. So we wanna make sure that that pelvis isn't moving as best as we can. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. Last one, you're gonna lift to hover and then hold it. So you're in that little baby hover. We wanna make sure that the pelvis is as level as possible. Now from here, can you rotate that thigh into some external rotation? And notice it's not gonna go that far. And then rotate it back to parallel, but keep it hovered. From the hover, you're gonna rotate it out. And then rotate it back. And as you're doing this, try not to let those hips move. Rotate it out and rotate it back. And I promise this is a sneaky one. Whereas you're doing it, it might be like, okay, yeah, I feel how there's glute there, but like it's manageable. And tomorrow it's like, holy moly, what on earth did I do? Because that is how I'm feeling today. Rotate it out and rotate it back. And you're keeping that little hover the whole time. Let's go for 5. I'm hoping by now you're like, oh, I feel bum. If you're not feeling bum, you can always lengthen that leg out a little bit longer, or again, open the angle at your knee. For 3, keeping those hips as even as you can. For 2, that's all part of the progress. Last one, externally rotate and then hold that external rotation. We're gonna do little pulses up, up. And it's tricky because you're gonna wanna feel like you're pulsing from your foot. Can you feel like you're pulsing from the back of your thigh? And like the back of the thigh is trying to tap the ceiling. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Woo! I'm gonna turn to the other side so you can see my other glute. Ooh, and it's nice and sunny in this corner. Okay. Can you see, actually, you can kind of see me here. If I wiggle, There you go. You'll miss my head, but you'll get at least what's happening through my lower body. So our legs are parallel. We're gonna pull that left leg in, and then we're gonna take a hot second and just see how that knee joint is feeling. We wanna make sure it's not too compressed. Maybe open it up. Maybe let your head drop down, yeah. Take a few breaths and just feel that pelvis out. And then when you're ready, fire through that glute. You're gonna lift the back of the thigh just to hover, and then pop it back down. And then lift up through the back of the leg, and then pop it back down. And so as we're moving here, the reason it has to stay small is because at some point you will have to press that hip bone into the floor. Yeah, that's just how biomechanics work. So by keeping it really small, we're keeping it in a super active range here, yeah? There's no borrowing mobility, and we're also working on that pelvic stability, which I really like. Trying to keep those hip bones as level as possible. Let's go for 3. Let's go up and down. I lied. Let's go for 3 now. Getting that hamstring really nice and activated. Last one. Let's hold it here. Now from that hover, press into those right toes. We're going to externally rotate. And then back to parallel. And we externally rotate. And back to parallel. And so as we're doing this, we're trying to keep that pelvis as absolutely level as possible. Externally rotate. Back to parallel. Letting the jaw, the upper body, the shoulders be really super nice and calm, and keep checking in, right? Notice if your hip bone distribution, yeah, if you feel more weight on one side versus the other, we want to keep it as even as possible. And so for me on this side, it's really hard to stay even. I really want to collapse into that left side. Rotate. And maybe see if you can really find that end range and give it a really good squeeze. Staying hovered this whole entire time. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. One more time, externally rotate it out. We're gonna pulse it up and up, and up. And that up is so hard to find from this angle. And pulse, and pulse, and pulse. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Woo! That is some serious glute busting. We're gonna flip back over onto our backs, please. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little zhuzh side to side. Little massageroonies here. And then let's plant those feet down. Starting to connect into that pelvis, into our abs. So we're gonna keep our hip bones and our pubic bone really nice and level as best as we can. We're gonna take a nice breath in through the nose, into the backs and sides of the ribs. And exhale it out through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, into the backs and sides of the ribs here. And exhale out through the mouth. Thinking about that pelvic floor drawing up, widening across the hip bones, or maybe the hip bones drawing in if that works better for you. Just make sure you're not pressing the belly up in space, yeah? Starting with those legs, we're gonna take a breath in. As we breathe out, let's lift the right leg up to a tabletop without letting the pelvis rock and roll. Inhale to lower those toes down. Exhale, switch, left leg will lift. Inhale to lower it down. Exhale, switch. Inhale down. Exhale, switch. And so just taking a few nice calm rounds here to see what really is happening on a nice kind of like deeper level through the body. As you're lifting one leg, again, do we feel the hips collapse? Also notice if you're holding your breath. Exhale. Inhale to pop it down. Exhaling to lift. So we're just marching through those legs, looking up at the ceiling as best as you can, please. and exhale to lift. Let's do one more to each side. Last one to the left. And then pop it down. Feet are gonna stay on the floor. We're gonna interlace our fingers if that's where you would like to go. Hands are gonna come behind the head. Lifting up through those elbows, give your head a nice shakety shake in your hands. Taking your breath in as you breathe out, let's nod the chin, let's curl up and look between those thighs. So give your head a little wiggle, any little housekeeping you need. Inhale to lengthen back. You could also, if you have a mat, collect the back of your mat. And as you breathe out, curl up that way, yeah? It's also kind of nice if you have shoulder stuff going on to work that way as well. So as we start to work here, the first little bit that I want us to consider is where our gaze is, right? If we're looking up at the ceiling, leading with the chin, we just did all of that really fabulous work with having the back of our neck engaged. So as you curl here, almost feel like you're, I don't want to say pressing because I don't want you to over engage, but feel like the back of the head gets to really sit in the hands. Inhale, exhale to curl. For the time being, I would also like us to check in with what's happening through our pelvis. Can we make sure our pelvis isn't tucking underneath us, that it's keeping really nice and stable? Inhale back, exhale to curl. When you're ready, if this is going well, as you exhale, we're gonna add that lift of a leg. Inhale to tap it down, exhale to switch. And so as you're switching, pardon me, notice the hip bones, right? Like for me, as soon as I lift that left leg, I need help. I need to pop a hand down. Exhale to curl. Inhale down, exhale to curl. As you're working here, as we start to feel that tension build up, we're gonna add a little oblique twist. Inhale, tap down, exhale, oblique twist. Inhale, tap down, oblique twist. Inhale, tap, exhale, oblique twist. And so every time we move, we're trying to find a little bit more happening, yeah? A little bit more going on. Inhaling to tap, exhale to twist. And again, being so super specific as to what's happening through our pelvis. There's no point, right, if we're kind of rocking and rolling all over the place, but I know we know that because you're Pilates professionals now, yeah? We have officially been working together for a year. Isn't that like what a year it's been? But like, isn't that wild? Inhale, floor, exhale, twist. Inhale, floor, exhale, twist. Woo, you starting to feel the burn? We're gonna do one more to each side and twist, and then find center. Inhale to let your upper body take a quick break, and then exhale to curl. Now we're gonna look down, pubic bone to belly button. Take your inhale. As you exhale, can you scoop through that low belly so that you're trying to press your low back towards the floor? Can we feel like we're opening and widening through that belly so that we're not squeezing and compressing in? And then from here, maybe we lift a leg. Maybe we lift our second leg. You can let those ankles hang down. You can let them lift. You can turn the legs out, whatever feels best for you. I'm gonna let my ankles hang for now because it just gives me a better imprint. Inhale to let your torso take a hot second break, and then exhale to curl. Inhale to take it out and back. Exhale to curl. And so as we're working here, we're still scooping through that belly. We're still trying to find that deep low ab stability. But because we've been here for a little bit more, we're a little further along in our endurance testing, I'm hoping it still feels nice and spicy. Inhale, take it back. Exhale to curl. When you're ready, if your legs have been hanging like mine, you can curl them into a tabletop. Exhale. One more time. We're gonna take our our torso curl. Sometimes words just fall out of my mouth. My abs are on fire. Are your abs on fire? From here, we're gonna work into toe taps now. So as you breathe out, you're gonna tap a toe down. Inhale to bring it up. As you breathe out, tap your opposite toe down. So we're working the opposite way that we were the first time, right? Instead of exhaling and pulling the leg in, now we're exhaling and tapping it away. You can also experiment with tapping heels instead of toes and seeing what that experience gives you. Exhale to tap. Inhale, lift, exhale, tap. Woo, abs on fire. See how that stability is going. And then when you're ready, you're gonna tap to or twist, sorry, towards the knee that's lifted. Inhale, center, twist. Holy guacamole. My abs are on fire. I'm hoping yours are too. Twist. Inhale, center, exhale, reach. I'm gonna add an arm here in my twist to just sort of help me out. Exhale, twist. Let's go to the left. Let's do one more each side. We can do it. Inhale, center. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, up and over. We're gonna meet at center. Breathe in. As you exhale, let's like really be where we are. You can reach the arms. You can reach the legs. Wherever you want to be to hold. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Oh my gosh. Nice big breath in. Big breath out. Let's take a little twist over here. We're going to flip back onto our belly in a second. Ooh, that really got spicy there. I mean, I know that these things happen, but I mean, I still think it's fun that when we work together, it's like real time, right? Like I'm feeling just as burning. That's my dad in the background. Just some casual family time while we're teaching. We're gonna come onto hands and knees, please. You can tuck your toes if you would like to. It gives them a nice moment to kind of stretch out. And as we inhale, we're gonna lengthen from tail to head. Maybe you get a nice stretch on the belly there if it was feeling nice and worked. And then exhale, we're gonna scoop, tuck in around and press away. Inhale to lengthen from the tail, opening up through the chest. Exhale, scoop, tuck in around. Taking a few breaths here to notice not just where it feels kind of good, like it kind of feels good for me to pop the tail, let my belly stretch. But when I round, it's a lot harder to feel that work, yeah? So feeling the places where it might not feel as easy to move. Let's do one more. Inhale, working on that mobility. And exhaling it in. Beautiful work here, team. We're gonna come, or we're gonna stay, I should say, sorry, on hands and knees, but we're gonna come into a kneeling plank. So we're gonna make sure those glutes are on. We're feeling a longer version of our abs being recruited now, yeah? And we're gonna work into that upper body a little bit. So toes can be tucked or untucked. I like, again, a bit of a tuck. I just find it helps me get into my glutes and my hamstrings. From here, we're gonna let the chest drop down. Like we're kind of doing a, I don't really want to plank, but I'm planking moment. And then we're gonna push and we're gonna press and we're gonna grow long from head to tail and we're gonna hold maximum tension. I'm squeezing through my arms here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, glutes are on, 1. We're gonna let ourselves melt like we're kind of just pretending to do plank. And then we're gonna exhale, super push, long from head to tail. I'm squeezing my arm muscles. I'm firing through my glutes for 5, for 4. And there's that head thing again, yeah? 3, the back of the body working. 2, 1. Inhale, let yourself collapse into a little bit of a retraction. And then we press away, go nice and long, working that protraction. You're trying to open the space behind the shoulder blades. For 3, glutes are still squeezing. 2, 1. One more time. Inhale to let it melt down. And then exhale, press for 5. This is gonna grow into a full plank. 3, 2, here we go. Lift it up. Right here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Drop it down, take a little break. Maybe give those wrists a little roll. If you like to kind of tuck them in, you can tuck them in. Give them a little circulation, getting that upper body warmed up. Circle them the other way. Nice. And then let's bring it down. So we're gonna stay in that kneeling plank as best as you can. And you can always use like a window ledge or a chair ledge, whatever you have. Just realized how great branding that is. Look, yellow. It's like I planned this whole thing. We're gonna come onto, again, that kneeling plank place, please. So glutes are on, toes can be tucked or untucked. We're long from head to tail. And all of our foundation stuff, which I didn't mention in that first round, but I know we know it, right? It's happening. We're pressing the floor away. It's like we're trying to pull the mat in half, and we're squeezing the heels of the hands down towards the knees. At the same time, the knees are hugging up towards the heels of the hands. So we're really super primed and supported and ready for action here. We're going to ever so slightly spin the fingertips in. So now the elbows are going to be on a little bit of a downward diagonal. We're going to lower for 3, for 2, but notice I'm not going super low. Press up 3, 2, 1. We're going to lower for 2. For 1, we're going to press up 2, 1, and then we're going to go down in 1. 1, 1. Take a little break. Come back forward. We're lowering 3. Glutes are on. 2, 1. We're pressing up 3, 2, 1. We're lowering 2, 1. Press up 2, 1, 1 count. Down, up. Take a little break. And then bring it forward. Again, 3, 2, 1. Press up 3, 2, 1. Down for 2, 1. Press up 2, 1. Down for 1, 1. Take it back. Give it a little break. Bring it forward. Again, 3, 2, 1. Press up 3. Press the arms. 2, 1. We're still trying to split the mat. That's 2. Down for 1, 1. Take it back. Bring it forward. Down for 3. The abs are on. Press up 3. The back of the neck is engaged. 2. Down for 2. Press up for 2, 1, 1. Should we do one more all together? Little break. Bring it forward. Down for 3, 2, 1. Up for 3, 2, 1. Down for 2. Up for 2. 1 count. Down. Up. Take a break. Nice job. Shake it out. So we're going to add these two things together. We're going to add in a push-up and a shoulder retraction, protraction, yeah, to kind of feel how they work together. So you could always be, if your wrists are deciding they don't love it, you could also, as another option, be knees right underneath your hips, right? And you can do that retraction, protraction, push up. Let's shake those wrists out, give them a little roll. You've been amazing, working so super hard today. All right, so there's going to be a little switcheroo-skis of the hands that has to happen, but you'll see kind of how it works. So the first part is that retraction, protraction. So we collapse and then we press. Little spin of the fingers in. Lower 3, 2, 1. Press up 3, 2, 1. Down for 2. Up for 2. 1, 1. Little break. Reset the hands to parallel. Come forward. Collapse through the chest or retraction. Press, protraction. Little shift of the fingers. Down 3, 2, 1. Press up 3, 2, 1. Down for 2. Up for 2. 1, 1. Little break. Reset the hands. Come forward. Retract nice and slow. Press, and that back of the neck thing is happening, yeah? Little spin of the fingers in. Lower 3, 2, 1. Press up 3, 2, 1. For 2, up for 2, 1, 1. Back to center, reset the hands, bring it forward. Glutes are so on here, abs are so on here, yeah? From parallel, let the chest drop down. Press it up. Little spin of the fingers. Down for 3, 2, 1. Up for 3. I'm gonna bring my knees in. 1, down for 2. Up for 2. 1, 1. Take it back, reset the hands. From parallel, let the chest drop down. Press it up. Little spin of the fingers. Down for 3, 2, 1. Up for 3, 2, 1. Down for 2. Up for 2. Press once, push once. Take it back. Shake out those wrists. Really nice job here, team. Let's give it a little wristy poo shake, shake. We're gonna do a little thing here just to finish off with the shoulders. It's called nerve flossing. And I was just with a physiotherapist yesterday, and we were discussing this and how great it is to kind of for everybody to do. So essentially we're gonna be moving the arms. We're gonna do 10 to each side. That's it. And if you love it and you want to do it on your own time, you can, but don't do more than 10 an hour. It's always going to just be 10. And essentially it's for the roots of the nerves that live in your cervical spine. Again, because a lot of us have been working from home, the space for the roots can get kind of congested, and then it can kind of radiate into all of this different shoulder pain. And so while yes, biomechanics and movement is important, there are things we can do to help with that too. And I just find it so fascinating, and I wanted to share it with you. So the way that it's going to work is you're going to reach the arm forward. We're going to internally rotate so the thumb goes down, and then we're going to take that arm back. Once it's behind us, we're going to kind of flip it so that the palm comes forward and up, and then we arrive back to center. So it's kind of like a really elongated figure 8. We rotate the thumb down, take the arm back, flip the palm forward, bring it back up, flip it down, take it back. And if you want to add a little head thing, as long as you're not feeling like stretchy pain, you're going to look away as the arm goes back, and then forward as it comes in. Turn and look away, and then up. I think that's 6. Let's go for 7, for 8, for 9, and for 10. Bring it in, shake it out. We'll go the other way. So your left hand, or whichever hand you're working with, arm's going to come forward, thumb is going to come down. We're going to take it back, flip so the palm faces forward, and then lift it back up. So thumb down, take it back, forward and up. That's 4. And then again, you look away from the shape as the arm comes back, and then we'll pull it in. There's a whole other wrist thing with this too, but for today, we're just going to work that arm placement. And in for 8, for 9, and for 10. Nice. Shake it off. Really super good job, team. We're going to flip back onto our backs. Well, not totally on our back, but like sitting on our bum. And we're going to bring those hands behind us. And the way we're going to get there is by a nice big reach up overhead. Bring the fingertips to face into your glutes. I moved my camera up a little bit. I'll move it back down for you. There we go. So reaching up, taking it back, reaching up, taking it back. Now those fingertips can always face sideways or on a downward diagonal, but we definitely don't want them to face behind us, yeah? Lifting up through the chest, and we're gonna super fire through our arms. So we're going to finish with back chain as well, but it's gonna be the reverse from how we started. So we're gonna fire into those glutes and lift up. And now you're looking forward, you're squeezing through the arms, you're squeezing through those glutes, and then slowly lower it down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, fire those glutes to lift. Or I shouldn't say it's the reverse of how we started. It's like we did start with those hip bridges. And then exhale, lift it up. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And down. Let's go for 3. Super squeeze and fire through those arm muscles. Let's go for 2. We're gonna hold this last one. All together, team. Lift it up. Squeeze through those arms, looking forward. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Squeeze the arms. 4, squeeze the glutes. 2, 1, bring it down. Super, super good job. Shake out through those wrists. When you're ready, we're gonna come to seated, and you could be seated on a chair. You can stick a cushion under your glutes, whatever feels good for you. We're gonna inhale to reach that right arm up, and then take a nice side bend over to the left. Breathe here, breathing it out. We're gonna make it kind of fancy. We're gonna turn so that our chest starts to turn and look down towards that right thigh. So both of our hands are to the side of, the left thigh. And then you're gonna stay rotated as you bring yourself up. So right hand to left knee thigh area. Left hand will kind of migrate behind the left hip. And as you lift, you're gonna twist now. Breath in and out. When you're ready, turning your gaze back to center, you can kind of wiggle it out. And then right hand will come to the floor, left arm will reach up and walk yourself out. Ooh, sunshine. So we did so much work today for opening the body, activating through the whole back chain of the body, flossing through the nerves of your left, well, not your left, sorry, nerves of both your sides. Start to rotate in, place your left hand down, rotating that chest to the floor. So big stretch, right? Not just the lateral flexion, but the rotation as well. And then when you're ready, starting to walk yourself back up, the left hand will come to the right knee or thigh. Right hand will kind of migrate behind the right hip as we sit up in this rotation now. Taking those breaths in and out. Bringing ourselves back to center. We're gonna bring those feet together. And again, if you wanna sit up a little bit, you can. Starting to gently just walk ourselves forward. So yes, sorry, we had those hip bridges at the beginning, opening the arms. We had the rotation of the pelvis as we were working there as well. Those half rolls too, to start to get that spine isolated and moving. We worked on our bellies. We worked that extension through the back of the body, again, activating that whole back chain of the body. Walk your hands over to the left. We then worked our glutes from down there as well in that funky knee hover rotation one, which is my new fave. Take a breath in here and out, walking your hands through center all the way over to the right. We worked into our abs through controlling our pelvis with lifting our leg and tapping it down, obliques on top of that. Breathing in and out. Walking those hands to center, gently rolling yourself all the way up. And then we worked through the back of the body there, protraction, retraction of the shoulders into some push-ups there. Inhale, reach those arms all the way up. Exhale, bring them down, give yourself a squeeze. Thank you so much for bearing with me today. I'm so glad we could still get a good 45 minutes in there. I hope you have a fab rest of your day, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, Dawn.